This conference will now be recorded.
So in the day before yesterday, I think we just did one end-to-end flow, correct? And after that, I told that, hey, we will be discussing about the locators in detail in the, let's say, next session. Okay. So just to give you, let's revise part like what we have done so far. We have introduced what is the folder structure, how is the folder structure looks like, what is the folder structure looking like. These are the open examples which is provided via Cypress, and we are not going to, I mean, modify this. You can modify, not a problem, but yes, these are the one which is provided by via Cypress, you can say dev team. And here we have done some of the JavaScript basic part, like what is the difference between let, where, and const, and how to create function, what is the scope, what is a block. Okay. We'll discuss in detail in the coming session about the nested for loop, or let's say conditional statement, while loop, and all those things. Okay. So moving on to our original this thing discussion. Today we are kind of talking about very in detail about the CSS locators, guys. Okay. So CSS locator demo basically. So first of all, let us understand CSS. So guys, over here I'll create one file. Okay, which will contain some of the documentations. Okay, so just I'm giving the documentation as .js, or you can just write .txt also. That is also fine. If not, here what you can do is you can kind of create a file over here. Okay, and this file we can give the name as readme.md, something like that. Okay. uh, Now our discussion would be on CSS, you can say locators, guys. Okay, because I already mentioned that the only locators which is kind of getting let's say supported in Cypress, okay, is only uh, like CSS. Okay. Now, before I kind of jump into this thing CSS, the short form, this is one of the locator which is obviously supported by most of the automation tool. Okay, so the first rule which we need to follow for CSS locator, you need to understand the HTML structure, guys. So let me show you the website on which we were working on that day. Okay, so this is the website. Now let us understand the HTML structure for this. Okay, so guys, please understand that to get the HTML structure for any of the element which is present over the UI, you just need to inspect. Okay, you just need to inspect. So once you inspect, right, after that you just need to check whether you are able to identify the element or not. Okay, now the thing is, once you do the inspection, guys, okay, here you see that there is some code, guys. Okay, now in day before yesterday's session, I actually located the value directly via Cypress inspector, right? So in this, what we will do is we will try to check what is the HTML code for this particular element. So guys, please understand this HTML coding is already done by the developer. Like when I say developer, I'm talking about UI developer. Okay, not backend developer. So they did the structure and everything. Our role is to kind of copy this element and put it inside our, you can say, you can just make a note of it. Okay, now here you can see that we are having some different color combination which is being applied to the respective values which you can see over the screen. Okay, now anybody have idea what are this, guys? uh, I know that I told you that this is already um, this is already what HTML code, HTML this thing. Okay, my question to you all is, can anybody explain this structure first of all? In HTML, what all component we have, guys? Yes.
Tag name.
Please go ahead. Repeat again.
Input is a tag name.
Mm-hmm. So first component, very very important. We have the tag name. Okay. What is the next component?
Attribute and value.
attribute, and third is the value, guys. Okay, just try to understand this. So this will be applicable for all the element wherever we see the UI, right? This three things will be common, guys. Okay, in HTML, guys, the syntax of writing the code is you need to have the angle bracket and provide the tag name. Okay, so whatever you this tag name should be valid one, guys. Okay, like it's not an XML. Okay, the difference between HTML and XML is, in XML you can give any name, but in HTML this whatever values we are writing, right, whatever this thing we are writing, right, it should be present in the HTML keyword. Okay, so if I'm saying h1, h1 is actually part of HTML. If I'm saying a, that is standing for anchor. If I'm saying div, that is one of the keyword, right? So all these are part of your HTML language, guys. Okay, so now here the focus is on input. Input is a keyword. Okay, like it's a tag name. Okay, so you cannot have the closing right now. So closing we will do at the end. So you can do the closing in this fashion. Okay, so opening of HTML body and then closing of this same. Okay, after that what you need to say, you need to say HTML. I'm just giving some random name. Okay, so don't get confused. And here you will have the value. Okay, and then you are closing the input tag. Okay, so you can close in this fashion, or else you can close in this fashion as well. Both are fine. Okay, both are fine. Now what exactly we need to understand, that is very important. So over here you can see that input is a tag name. That's what, that was correct. Then we have attributes, guys. So overall we have class as an attribute, name as an attribute, data hyphen v hyphen 1ff, whatever is written, right, that is also an attribute. Placeholder is also an attribute. So now the first way of writing the CSS, guys, please focus, this very very important. Okay, the first way of writing the CSS selector, if you are aware about the class name, if you are aware about the class name, then the CSS selector would be anybody?
Dot. Start with dots.
Dot class name. Okay, please remember this. Second, if you are aware about the id. Okay, what is id? Id is also one attribute which will be present, guys. It may or it may not present right now, obviously. In some of the UI element you will see this. Okay, then the CSS selector would be
Has ID.
you just need to use symbol called hash. Okay,
Yes.
and then you need to use the respective id what is present. Okay, moving on, the third way of identifying the CSS, guys, if you are aware about tag name and attribute, sorry, tag name and sorry, my bad. If you are aware about attribute and value. Okay, how about now, what would be the answer? So this is the
The tag
attribute
name and
and this is the value.
yeah, tag name.
So how to write?
Starting first we write the tag name and after that we have to pass the uh,
Value,
class.
right?
Yeah,
Please
yeah,
remember that should
yeah,
be in the square bracket. Okay,
yeah.
mandatory. CSS locator needs to be in the square bracket. So first is you need to open the square bracket, and you just need to mention this in the square bracket and closing of square bracket. This is the third way of writing the CSS selector, guys. Okay, next, fourth, if you are aware about, when I say this thing, guys, please remember that you need to kind of all the, you need to inspect and check, right? Then only you will understand whether the tag name is present or not, attribute is present or not, like that. So if you know all three, then anybody in
Yes,
this,
sir. Tag name and square bracket, attribute
copy
and
this,
value. Yeah.
copy this and just write input outside, that's it.
Yes.
Perfect. So anybody wants to add anything other than this strategies of CSS? Because
Uh, Sorry to interrupt. What will happen like when two class names are present? Then how we are locating the label? element? Like if suppose two class names are present, then how we are going to?
Then in that case we will use the concept of indexing. Okay, so
Okay.
indexing as in you will use the approach of writing nth child and the parent, all those concepts. Okay,
Okay.
and in that you need to pass the indexing like 0 1 2 3 like that. Okay, so over here when I did the first test, guys, okay, in that you might have seen this greater than sign. Anybody has idea what is this greater than sign?
Let's navigate to next child.
It's a logic of navigating from, this is a parent, guys, parent, this is a child, this is a like grandchild, this is a grandchild. Okay, so please remember this is a grandparent, something like that. Then this is a child of this is a child of this is a child of this, and so on. Okay, so this is the indexing I'm talking about. Like here you can see 3, right? Here you can see 2, right? So this 2 3 is nothing but indexing, guys. Okay, so whenever we come in a situation where let's say the class name is same, tag name is same, or something like that, in that case we will try to have the approach of indexing. Okay, next is one more way, guys, that is nothing but parent child traversing. Okay, that I will show you while doing the actual activity. Okay, so first of all, let me show you the UI actually first. Okay, so everybody can see this, right? Over here, can anybody explain me the sequence, how it is going? How is the structure going? Okay, so please understand, guys, if you have this div, okay, so this div has the child called this div. Okay, this div has a child this. Okay, so this div has a child this div has the child this, and this particular div has two child, guys. Okay, one is this and second one is this. If I go inside this, then this particular div has total 3 child. 2 are div, 1 is h5. Okay, if I go inside this, there is nothing. We will be able to locate this image locator, whatever is there. Okay, if I go inside this, there is nothing. We are able to locate the title or something. Okay, so in this way, you need to kind of traverse from parent to child. Okay, clear everyone? Now over here we will talk about two plugins, guys. I hope you guys are already aware about that, but still I'll just highlight it again. Okay, so the first plugin which we usually use for practice purpose is Selector Hub. uh, I hope everyone are aware what is Selector Hub, guys. It's an open source plugin. Okay, so when you go to their official website, they will provide a link through which you can download this Selector Hub, guys. Okay, so click on this, it will navigate you to the plugin, and here you just need to click on add to Chrome, guys. Okay, so once you do this, it will add this particular plugin into your Chrome browser. And guys, please make a note that this particular Selector Hub plugin, it is not recommended. I mean, not recommended, I would say, like some of the project will not allow you. Okay, because of some security, you can say you will not be able to open third party of any of the website, guys. Okay, so it may happen that you may not be able to use this. Okay, but in some project where there is nothing, no restriction or something, right, in those cases there will be no issue. Clear everyone what I said just now? Okay.
Yes, because
Yeah,
interview also not allowed to
yeah.
use this selector hub.
Yeah, it is not recommended. Please remember, this is just for practice purpose. Whatever you have written, it is correct or not, right? To check that you can use this. Okay, like how we have over here Chrome Dev tool, right? So you can see this is a Chrome Dev tool. Here we do Control F, right? And here we need to write our exact locator, correct? So either you write over here or either you write in the selector hub logic. Okay, both are same, but Selector Hub is showing you some suggestion also. Okay, so that suggestion you can have it for those people in like those you can say people where there is no restriction of any URL or anything. Okay, please remember, I'm again repeating that it is not recommended, guys. It is just for the initial phase, you can say for the practice part. Okay, later on you need to kind of move, let's say, away from this particular plugin. If your office, or let's say if your organization is allowing it, not a problem. Okay, you can use it, no worries. Even like whenever you are kind of creating the, because what happens in live interviews also, guys, they ask you to share your screen, and at that point of time you need to kind of create your own logic of identifying the element. Okay, so over there you are not allowed to use any of these plugins, guys, please remember. Okay. And the next plugin what we have is CrowPath, guys. Okay, so for CrowPath, guys, I'm not sure whether I'll get the URL or not. Because see, CrowPath, this again CrowPath plugin is actually available. This has been modified actually. CrowPath plugin is officially available for the this thing, guys. Okay, Chrome browser. So in if you want to have it in other this thing, guys, okay, so other names such as Firebugs, okay, so those are the names. Over here you will get one URL, guys. Okay, let me show you. Because this has been depreciated, guys, that's what I came to know. But again the name has been changed or something has happened actually. Okay, yeah, so this is the one, guys. Okay, so I am not sure whether this is because here you can see that it has been removed actually. But still, yeah, this is the CrowPath, guys. Right now for me it is already installed. For you guys it may, obviously you need to kind of install from, let's say, third party UI or third party URLs. Okay, but yeah, again this is one of the open source, you can say, both these plugins are responsible for identifying the locators. Okay, all the locators, not only CSS, guys. Okay, these are responsible for identifying all the locators, but our main this thing will be CSS. Okay, now moving back to our CSS locator demo, guys. Okay, now let us discuss this little bit in detail, since you already got the understanding. Okay, now this time we'll change the application, guys. Okay, so let's do the transaction, or let's do one end-to-end flow on source demo website. Okay, so this is one open source website, guys. Okay, so we will identify the element manually, and then we will use it into our logic. Okay, so source demo testing, please use callback function, guys. I'm repeating, you can use either function keyword, or you can use uh, like callback function. Okay, so the symbol which I showed. Now what I will do, I'll do one more activity today, guys. I'll go to cypress.config.js. Over here you will just see one thing called as URL, guys. Okay, so please define your application URL. Okay, so how to define, guys? Sourcedemo.com. Let me see if it is working fine or not, because sometime it happens, let's say under maintenance or something. So it is working for, guys. Okay, so now this value you need to pass in single quotes, guys. Okay, please provide the value in single quotes. Okay, see, guys, over here you can see that URL is actually not getting highlighted. Okay, if it is not getting highlighted, you just make sure the variable which you have used is correct. Okay, if it is not correct, what you can do is you can kind of create this variable, guys. Okay, somewhere inside Cypress only. Okay, and from there you can use the respective value. So here base URL is also fine. Okay, now anyone has idea how to use this variable, okay, inside our actual test case? Okay, anyone has idea? So we need to use cypress dot env, and here you need to write base URL. Okay, so this base URL will be the base URL which is actually present inside your this thing. Okay, let me show you. Okay, I did one mistake, guys. Just a second. This is the comma for above. This is the comma for this. I'm creating one env, guys. Okay, I'll explain you why. Okay, I'm moving over here. Okay, env is by default provided by a Cypress config only, guys. I'm not creating my own. If you write env, you will get an auto suggestion. Okay, so env is nothing but mostly what happens, you will create one JSON. Okay, and that JSON will be, let's say, responsible for working on different environment. Okay, so when I say different environment, basically you can define QA URL, stage URL, prod URL, something like that. So now what I did is I actually went ahead and created one variable, and inside that I have created one variable called as base URL. Just make sure spelling and everything is correct, guys, as per the, like, I provided this. Make sure that is correct. Save this. Okay, so now moving on to this particular logic. So now here we have the base URL. So can anybody tell me whether this syntax is correct or I am doing some mistakes? So if you want to understand that, let me kind of trigger this. Okay, so that you will understand the real-time error also. Okay, if there are any variable that you need to define in environment value, right? How to call them into our actual test case. Okay, so I'm starting the test. So guys, you remember, right? A few seconds ago, now we are able to kind of execute this. So you can see, guys, the base URL is not defined. Okay, so now let us. So guys, whenever you are using any variables, okay, in the config files, please remember you need to pass that value in the double quotes. Sorry, single quotes or double quotes. Okay, clear everyone? Any questions? Any doubt? Okay, perfect. Next is cy.get. Now we will identify the locators, guys. Now this time we will manually identify the locators. Okay, so let us go to standard user. Okay, so this website I'm repeating, guys. These websites are very straightforward, guys. Okay, you will not face any difficulties in identifying locators and everything. Okay, if you guys are using your real project or something, please, I would request you to try on that. Okay, and over that, if you face any issues, guys, okay, you can please highlight to me, because those are the cases where, let's say, you have very complex CSS locators or something, right? So in such a situation you might get stuck, actually, because the class name might be same, the I everything is same. Only thing is, let's say, one value is kind of getting changed. Okay, so those type of situation arises, actually, okay, in real time. So I would request everyone to please give a try on your own application by creating one simple POC. Okay, and if you guys got any query, doubt, I mean, please feel free to drop your notes over our uh, WhatsApp channel, guys. So I just enter the value. After that, I need to click on login button. Okay,
Sir, one
login.
question.
Please go ahead.
Yeah, apart from this CSS locator, can we use ID, name, or XPath locator?
Yeah, so let us kind
Yeah.
of jump into one more topic. That is nothing but, I think, on that day, did I install anything? No. Perfect. So only one thing is supported via Cypress, that is XPath. That's it. Okay. So when I say Cypress XPath is very old this thing plugin which got depreciated. Okay, this package has already been depreciated. Okay, but still into our actual testing, most of the project which are currently, let's say, available over the organization, guys, those are still having this Cypress with XPath, guys. Okay, so please remember, for XPath you need to kind of go to their official website of npm. Okay, although this plugin is depreciated, you will be able to kind of configure into our actual project. Okay, so the steps is simple. You just need to trigger npm install -d cypress xpath. So once you trigger this, you saw that we line number 18 got added, guys. Correct? So this got added. Why? Because I have triggered one command in this thing terminal. Okay. After that, you need to do one more modification. What is that? Just then include in your project support file. So copy this. Okay, I'm repeating, guys. You don't need to go anywhere, guys. Just see the official documentations. Okay, don't go here and there. Just copy this and go to support folder. I told you, right, inside your command.js we added one line, so you can add one more line and just do control S. Okay, I'm repeating the steps what we did. I have installed Cypress XPath using this command. Okay. Once I trigger this, some of the package will be, let's say, depreciated. Some of them will be not getting used, but still it will add into your package.json. Okay. After that, I just made some small change of writing this, guys. So this you usually write whenever we are starting any new test case at the top. Okay. So instead of that, you write inside command.js so that it is applicable for all the files which are present inside E2E. After that, what we do is we will do now XPath. Okay. So previously, prior to installation, you might see that there will be no XPath command actually. Okay. So this XPath command is coming through what? This XPath command is coming via the plugin which I have installed just now. Okay. So there are only two support. One is CSS and second is XPath. Perfect. So now, guys, over here for obviously XPath has some different strategies, right? So you have the tag name. Okay. So you start with a double slash, and after that you need to write input. Okay. You need to write input square bracket ID is equal to password, but I don't want this. I need for login button. So you can copy this, guys, and over here you can paste it. Close with square bracket. Okay. And one thing is missing, which is at the rate. Okay. Clear, everyone? So now the thing is, this is the, I mean, way of identifying, or let's say writing the XPath. So in the note section, I can just mention that XPath are broadly classified into two categories. Okay. One is relative XPath and second is absolute XPath. Okay. So when it comes to relative XPath, guys, there are multiple ways of writing the XPath. Please remember. Okay. So there are several methods, guys, such as text. So you guys are aware about this methods, guys? Contains, starts with, all these are methods which are
Not really.
part of your XPath only, guys. Okay. I'm not kind of, all these methods are part of your XPath. So I'll share one link, guys. I would suggest everyone to please go through that. Okay. And if you compare CSS and XPath, the number of way of writing the locator in XPath is obviously two times, guys, three times, I would say. Okay, because XPath has a lot of, you can say, recently they have modified with advanced XPath concept also, using keywords such as above, below, lower, near. All these are keywords. I hope you, those who guys have, let's say, Selenium, this thing, okay, they will be aware about these keywords actually. Okay. And over here, uh, one more thing I would like to highlight. Right now the XPath which I have written, it's a very straightforward XPath which starts with double slash. Okay, so the one which is starting with a double slash, please remember that comes under relative XPath, and the one which is starting with a single slash, okay, that comes in the absolute XPath. Okay. So please remember, absolute XPath is nothing but it actually start from the DOM structure, actually from the very start actually. Okay. So it goes to HTML head, whatever it is. Okay. So it goes like this, one it is written, right? That is nothing but, I told you, indexing basically. Okay. If you have multiple div, then it will focus on div of one. If you have multiple input, it will focus on input of 1. Okay, so absolute XPath is always long, guys. It is very this thing we never, I mean, if it is required then we will use, otherwise we never use this absolute XPath. We mostly rely on this particular type of XPath. Okay, clear everyone? I'll share the link, guys, where you will see the documentations of XPath. I would suggest everyone to please have a look into that. Okay, so I'm using this, guys, for our click logic. Okay, so the command is, guys, simple dot click. Okay, now over here we have something called as um, I'll explain you what is this basically. So here we have something called as force colon through. Anybody has idea what is this? I mean, I didn't explain it, I know, but still, anybody wants to kind of guess this? What is this?
It's forcefully click
So
when
forcefully click, right? So this is responsible for responsible for clicking any hidden element. Okay, if let's say you are not able to, or Cypress via automation, when it is executing, right, and if it is let's say taking 4 seconds, and if it is still not able to, let's say not able to find the locator over UI, right, then we need to pass this um force through, guys. Okay, it's an optional parameter, guys. Okay, it's an optional parameter. So when you go to this documentation, so going to documentation, I'm repeating again, everyone please remember, you just need to hover your mouse and click on this link. You will actually go to the actual documentation of click, and in click you will see some options, guys. Okay, so here you see simple dot click dot click dot click everywhere. Okay, and here you can see that cy dot click, this is not a correct, you can say this. Okay, if you have some positions, right, so here you will see something like dot click top right. Okay, so if you have some positions which is defined by via your UI developer, right, then it will try to identify the respective button at the top and it will actually click, guys. Okay, that depends whether the text is present over there or not, simple. Okay, then you have some coordinates logic also. If you are aware that my button is at so and so coordinate, right, which is very hard to identify if, via this thing you need to use any of the plugin to identify the coordinate on the page, then only you will be able to use this. Okay, then we are saying forceful a click, right, so that is force through. Okay, here we have the logic of coordinate as well as the action. Okay, so that's the reason I'm saying, everyone, guys, everyone please make sure that whenever you are using any of the command, okay, please go through the official documentation also. Perfect. So guys, I have just written 4 steps, right? So today we will write few of the assertions also, so that everyone are, let's say, clear with the assertion concept as well. So we did use CSS, we use XPath, and we have used the click logic, right? Now over here we will try to execute this test case, guys. Okay. The only thing which we will do is, let's say if you are having showing 401. Let me stop and run again, guys. This is the issue actually. Sometime it is not able to trigger the. Okay, I think let me change the config file, cypress.config, and let me remove this. Sometime this may create an issue, guys. Perfect. Let me do one thing, guys. Let me kill all the instances first, and let me reload the UI again. npx cypress open. The URL is correct. If this is not working, then we might need to update our URL, guys. If it is not working in, let's say, Chrome, we will try to have our test case in let's say Edge browser or Firefox. Okay, let's check one more time. Mhm. Still it is not working. Quit. Okay. I'm changing the browser, guys. Okay. And one more thing, guys, over here, when I'm triggering the test case, right, you saw that most of the time we are having unwanted call on the on the left hand side. Okay, so when I say unwanted calls, basically you guys can see 401 and all those things, right? So those are nothing but the internal API calls which happens usually whenever we are actually working on real-time applications also. Okay, so Cypress is having one code which will obviously remove that. So over here you guys can see, right, this fetch, correct? Then this fetch, right? So there are some codes which is kind of showing up, right? We don't require this code, correct? So I'll show you one code which will obviously remove this, and from there we will be able to we will not get this. Okay, now the thing is, Cypress has one beautiful command which is called as cy dot cy dot contains. Okay, where is our file? Yeah, cy dot contains. Anybody has idea what will contains do, guys? Yes,
Yes,
go ahead, please. What it will do? Uh,
that paragraph or else expert locator is right. I mean, if there is any word, something is there, you can use that one.
So let's say I know that my UI is stuck at this point, and I know that I do have this text which is visible over to user when he's running the automations, this thing test case. So what I will do, instead of having the respective locators, okay, whether it is XPath or this thing, okay, CSS or X, you just need to know the actual text which is present over the UI, and you can perform click, guys. Okay, there is no need of getting the exact locator, guys. Okay, understood everyone? Okay, this also started throwing error. uh, it was working fine.
We can use CY contains for the verifying the header like present in the page. Like suppose application has two or three pages, then
Yeah, header,
in the
if you are talking about headers, or
yes,
let's
yes.
say you're talking about page title or something, the answer is yes, we will be able to. Just a second, I'll trigger this in Electron browser after this. Usually this issue doesn't come. I think it is identifying one time, and after that it is stopping us at 401. Let us see. So guys, I hope everyone knows that this most of the browsers are coming from the Chromium family. Okay, so it will work very this thing fast and quick in almost like all the browsers which are kind of coming through this thing, Chromium. Just a second, why it is showing two browser? Perfect. CSS locator, and let me run it again. So guys, you can see this is a final this thing. So it actually performed it actually performed the click on source lab backpack. Let me rerun. Okay, when we are doing rerun, at that time it is having some issue. So this issue is obviously application not allowing this thing automation logic, guys. That may be the reason. Let me do one quick fix over here. Let me copy this. Let me just go to cy dot this. Okay. Save this. Let me go to this thing, delete this, rerun this, go to spec file, css locator demo. Still it is not working. It is taking more than the expected duration of time. Perfect. Let us switch the application, guys. We'll use blaze demo. Okay, so there are few application. One is blaze demo. If you guys are aware about this, we have bstack demo. We have one more application which is bz blaze test, I think. Just a second. uh, bz I think blaze demo. Okay, so what we will do, we can use this also, guys, which is again one e-commerce website. Okay, yeah, what it is showing final 6,000. Oh, okay, it's taking more than expected time. So I'll quickly kind of identify this values. Okay, so here what happens is you need to create your account, right? So we can create over here. Let me check for this website whether you require any sign in or not. If there, yes, demo user test fn. Okay, so let us try to do this. So guys, over here when you are doing sign in, you can see that this is actually a drop down. Okay, so I want your help how we will handle this. Okay, so I'm changing this URL. Okay, you can keep this code, not a problem. So I'll kind of use it dot skip. Okay, so I just wanted to introduce one more thing. If you want to skip any test case, okay, when you are trying to kind of code, right, you can use one skip keyword which will skip this test case. Okay, after that you can start with one more this thing. Okay, and over there you can have your blaze demo test, and from there you can kind of continue with your testing activity. Okay, so here what we will do, cy.visit, and you will go to this URL. Okay, let me see if this URL is getting open multiple times. So for that, let me clear everything. Npx Cypress open. So this will work fine for sure. I'm not sure why that website is behaving weird today. Most of the time it is working fine. Oh, I think I selected Firefox. That's fine. So it dot skip, what it will do, it will skip that particular test case and it will keep on executing the second one, that is blaze this thing. Okay, blaze demo test. Okay, so now you can see that it actually highlighted. Now let me try to use this sign in. So guys, you can see, right, we are able to get the locator, which is actually correct locator, like the proper CSS locator, and you can just mention cy dot this click. Okay, After that, once you do click, right, after once you click over here, just click on that. After that, you see that we are having a drop down. So this drop down needs to be kind of handled in such a case where if you want to click, you can click it. If you want to click on this arrow, you need to kind of click on this element, right? So there are two action. One is here also it is kind of opening the drop down, and here also it is opening the drop down. Okay, so now if you inspect this, okay, it is giving really weird locator. So let us kind of do this manual check. Okay, so now let's inspect this. So everyone can see that we are having this class. Okay, let's go inside. Let's go inside. We are having this class, guys. Okay, and also we are having this class. Okay, so whenever you are having the class name, you can directly use copy this. Okay, and just use cy.get square bracket class is equal to this. Okay, I'm not removing the space, guys. If you notice, there is some space actually over here, so don't try to change anything which is, let's say, part of your locator. Okay, if there are a lot of space, then you need to keep those space as it is. And here also you can just do square bracket and identify. So you can see that we are getting two elements. Now the problem over here, it may happen that, let us execute this and show, let me show you the problem, that we are getting multiple element. Okay, so here you can see that two matches found, correct? So whenever such cases arises, guys, okay, what you need to do, you just need to use indexing over here. So in Cypress we have one command called as eq, guys. Okay, eq will do what? Eq will actually identify the element, and it will click on the first one, and then it will go to the next step. Okay, so now you can see that it clicked on the second one. Okay, so let me make this as 0. Okay, because indexing starts with this thing 0 and 1. Okay, after that, what to do, guys? You need to click on this logic, right? Clear, everyone? So once you open the drop down, once the user clicks on this drop down, right, after that we need to click on this demo user. Okay, so anybody has idea what to do, how we can click on that? Can we use cy.contains? Will it work, right? Anybody? Yes. So anybody can tell me why it is not working? Uh,
Sir, it's text field. In this text field, we have to pass the value.
no. I mean, I have written this contains, right? The contains will actually search for the whole UI, right? Now the concern over here is this logic, whatever is there, right? This is obviously the exact locator. But my question is, if it is part of the UI, right? Demo user is present. Why it is not performing the click, right? Here you can see that it waited for 4 seconds, and then also it is not able to identify the value. Okay,
Because
so the reason is
these are present in the drop down.
down. This reason, these values are in the drop down, guys. Okay, that's the
Mm.
reason. It is not part of your UI part, like the whole web page. It's a part of your drop down. That's the reason it is not able to identify the demo user, image not loading, existing user, all those values. Okay, so now what I did is I actually copied the exact locator, which is select 2. Okay, so what this will do, let us see that as well. Dot click, save this and run it again. Okay, now we are stuck at one more point, that is I need to copy this step, guys, because I have selected the value. Now I need to select the password, right? So just check it out. Once demo user is selected, after that I need to get the locator of this as well, right? So second locator of this, So you can see we are getting the locator. Can anybody tell me what are those three and all those things in the locator? These are nothing but the drop down class value which is part of your that particular value, guys. Okay, I'll show you in inspect element all those value. Okay, now we are done, guys. Over here we just need to click. Before that, let me show you this. This is actually an ID, guys. What is this, guys? It is an ID of what? It is an ID of all the drop down values which you guys can see. Okay, so basically those value, right, which I showed you is nothing but ID. Now we need to click on login button, correct? So just inspect this login. It's a very straightforward hash login, right? So you can just use dot click. Perfect. Save this and we are done, guys. Let me run this. So it will select demo, it will select this, and now we are done. Now guys, I'll write cy.contains. Now you can tell me add to cart. Sorry, it is not add to cart. Check the spelling, uppercase, lowercase, all those things are mandatory, guys. If it is not matching, it will not click on that. Okay, so guys, everyone can see it clicked on add to cart. Okay, whichever, let's say because here we have multiple matches, right? It may pick any of them. Okay, so iPhone 12, which is the first one, you can see, right, which is this one, correct? It has clicked on that. After that we have checkout, right? So now the control is on checkout, so you can just write cy.contains checkout as well. Okay, dot click. So here what I am doing is I am not writing any css, sorry, any of the locators, guys, if you notice carefully. Okay, everything is like part of your UI screens. Okay, now we have total 5 field. Okay, so if you inspect one by one, you will be able to identify the respective locators for sure, because all will have ID. So here you can see that we are able to get the command straight away over the UI. Okay, so now here you can just write dot click and write the value over there. Okay, everyone are clear, guys? Anybody wants to, I mean, ask any doubt, query, questions, please unmute and please ask your doubts, guys. Okay, so semicolon is optional, guys. Okay, semicolon is not mandatory. Okay, so we are done with this, and just at the end you need to click on submit. So you can just copy the locator of that as well. Okay, and just click on run. Okay, so we are done, guys. I mean, just it will do one. Okay, what happened? Click demo.
So we have to pass the value with the type command.
Perfect. The thing is, everywhere I did a mistake, guys. Right, everywhere it should be what, guys? Last one is correct. It should be type, guys. Okay, so now the thing is you just need to do assertion on this message. Okay, so copy this, inspect this, copy this. Based on our previous session, guys, anybody can tell me how to do the assertion on the message which is present on the final page?
Dot should
Should.
Dot should
equal eq
eq,
and then
correct? So we
and
have, okay, and guys, will it work, guys? What do you think? Let us try.
either
Let
we
me.
have to use a have or have text. We have to use.
Okay, so please remember, sometime what happens, what is EQ responsible for, guys? Okay, so EQ is nothing but it will try to equate the HTML, if let's say in the assertion, this thing HTML body, if it's a value, right, it will work, but it is actually taking the tag, guys, if you notice carefully. So that's the reason what happens sometime, if you know that this is a text value which is visible over the UI, then you need to use have.text. So it will do what? It will actually get the text from the HTML code, and based on that, it will get the let's say do the assertion on the text which is visible over the UI. Clear, everyone? So the assertion got passed successfully, guys. Okay. So
Vikas, could you repeat the same thing again? Why we have used have text? Yeah.
yeah, so the reason is, this is actually, if you notice carefully, if you inspect this, right, this is not the EQ means, like what it will do, it will equate the whole HTML structure, if you notice the previous this thing, right? But right now what we are doing, we are actually making sure the message is correct or not. So this message over the UI is normally a text, right? That is what, from the QA point of view, we can say that this is a text. If it would have been a drop down value, then you need to use have dot value. Okay, right now there is no such drop down, nothing. It's a pure text which is present over the UI. And here in our HTML structure also, this is kind of considered as a text. Although we have used legend, all those keywords, but the value is kind of considered as a text. Now, if you consider this tag demo, right? In stack demo also, that is a hyperlink, guys. Okay, now if you do, let's say, have dot text, it may not work, because this is not a text, guys. This is what? Href. Okay, so when you click on this, it may navigate us again on the home page of bstack demo. Getting my point? So if you want to do assertion on the pure text which is visible over the UI, please remember that you need to use have dot text. So over here you can see your order number is so and so 53. Okay, this is pure text, right? So if you inspect this, right, you are getting these two things. Now what we will do is, I'll just show you dot should. I am just writing have dot text, comma, I'm keeping this empty, and I want to know what is the text, guys. Okay, that's the reason I kept this kept that as an empty. My assertion will for sure get failed. Okay, so this assertion will fail, guys. Okay, because it will show me what is the actual text. So guys, you can see that, but the text was, everyone can see this.
Mhm.
If you think that I will write the whole thing, the answer is no. You can write contains if you want. Okay, what contains will do, contains will actually validate the partial text as well. Okay, if you think, let's say, I don't want to use I don't want to validate the whole text, right? So you can write contains. So we have contains.html, contains.text, contains.value, all these things, guys. Okay, so right now you can use for partial this thing contains as well. So contains will do what? It will do the partial check as well. It will work fine. Okay, because there is one hyperlink which is okay. What we did, let me run it again, guys. Okay, just a second, guys. Okay, this should have been working. Let me change this to. Let me check the locators, guys.
Because I guess for contents we cannot use a suit. We only
No,
use
we
only.
can use contain for text as well. That is for sure. But just a second, because we have cy dot contains, that is different. Okay, don't. I mean, this is different. Okay, and the one which we are doing, right, that is something like the assertion contains actually. Just a second. Let me change this to your order number is 90. Your order number. See, guys, you may have multiple this thing, guys. Okay, multiple ways of writing the same assertion. Okay, so here you can see contain uh, dot text worked fine. Okay, so I just updated to contains dot text, which is
So
nothing similar to have dot text only, right? I mean, there is no much difference. The only thing is it is doing the partial validation also. And in have dot text, you need to write the exact text which is present over the UI. Yeah, go ahead, please.
yes, I was about to add like can I use the contain dot text on the line above it, like having instead of writing have dot text, if I
Yeah,
would have used that would work, right?
yes, yes, yes,
Okay. Okay. Sounds
yes,
good.
absolutely, yes. Because what I said is like, guys, please remember, we will not be able to, I mean, cover all the assertions, right? Because this list is very huge, guys. Okay, so there are a lot of, I mean, it depends upon the type of project and everything, whether that property present to that or not. So all these are nothing but part of your chai assertion, guys. Okay, so please remember, we will have the discussion on which are like most commonly used assertions. Yes, but still at high level, we might not be able to use all the assertions which are present over this particular UI chai. Okay, and yeah, I was about to share one link also for XPath. You guys will be aware already, so you can just have a look. And also, guys, I'll upload this project over the GitHub. Okay, and on daily basis the same, if we add any of the file, we'll push the changes. And I hope you guys are getting the recordings and everything. And also I'll post this notes also. I think this was the notes which we were having, right? So I'll just copy this notes to our readme.md file. Okay, anybody has any doubt, query, questions, anyone?
Because one thing, like if you can go back to the
uh,
code, okay.
code, okay.
Can you scroll up once, like where we have added that drop down locator, right? For
Mm,
username.
this one you're talking.
Um, I think 29th, 29th line where we
Okay. So this one, right? Okay.
yeah. What is the dot eq one
Yeah. So the
equal
thing is,
one?
how we have like multiple element, like in Selenium, you have like find elements, right, with an S. What happens is it identifies the multiple element which are present over the UI, right? If you have 10 element, it will identify those 10. So when I'm using this locator over the UI, right? When I say over UI, so if I use this locator over here, right, I'll get two matches found. Okay.
Okay.
Why I'm getting two match? Because of obviously same class name. I think someone asked, right? What would happen if
Mm.
the name is same, correct? So this is like
Yes.
same case where the class name is same. Now the thing is, now you need to know which is, let's say, your first priority, second priority, and then on that basis you will try to use indexing inside this thing. Okay, by providing eq0, eq1. EQ0,
Okay.
remember, for, let's say, first value, EQ1 for second, and so on. Okay, that's the
Oh,
major.
got it. Okay. Thank you.
Perfect.
Because how can we access that readme dot
Dot
m?
MD file. Yeah, the thing is, that's what I mentioned, right? I'll upload this whole thing over the Git repo and I'll share the URL. After that, you will be able to access the readme.md file. And on everyday basis, we will obviously have our notes in this particular file only.
So
Oh,
because we have not the access of GitHub, so how can we access?
No, this will be public repo.
Okay,
Share
okay,
only, with you all guys. Okay, don't worry.
okay. We need to install that
Correct.
Git also.
No, nothing is required. You just need to click on the link. You will see the same folder structure and everything. Okay, just make sure that you are able to see whatever we are practicing. If and in future, obviously, you guys need to create your GitHub account also. So I would request everyone, please go to this URL. Okay,
Could you
those who
please
are
send
having
me
well
that
and
you
good,
are
those who are having already account, well and good, guys. Okay, those who are not having, please go to Google or let's say github.com. Okay, try to use your personal Gmail address. Click on sign up and please provide this detail and click on continue. Okay, it's a one time activity and make sure you know your username and password, right,
okay?
and so that you guys can upload your local project once you are starting with your practice to directly GitHub. Okay, don't make private repos, guys. Okay, so private you will face little bit issues with token and everything. So make that particular repo whichever you are practicing as public only for now. Later on I'll explain about private as well. So
Could you
just
please send me that
account.
GitHub link?
Yeah, I'll share this also over what this thing channel right now. Later on, you will. Where are we? Yes, over here. Yeah, I've shared you over chat window, guys. Just have a look. Okay. Yeah, these are the things which you can do before Monday, and by most probably by tomorrow, I'll share the link with you all. Okay.
So because by Monday means tomorrow and day after tomorrow, we don't have meetings, or shall we
Hmm.
continue?
Uh, we are
I
how
don't know. Like I was just asking. Like,
correct. We are having
mm,
5 days Monday to Friday sessions, 9 to 10 every day.